This is Barbara Reiss reporting for Totally East Brunswick. We're here at the East Brunswick Art and Music Festival. Come join us for an afternoon of food, art, and fun. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. You have two hats today, two different positions. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that.
Actually, I'm president of the East Brunswick Arts Commission, and I was heading up the steering committee with Parks and Rec as a volunteer in organizing and putting this event together.
So that's a big job for a lot of different groups working together.
A lot of different, the Parks and Rec really does a great job in really the nuts and bolts of it. But what they were looking for was some outside influences to maybe shape it a little bit better. So we put together they had put together and asked me to head up a steering committee that was made up of artists and others that have been volunteers in the past. So we can kind of hone in on making this event, which is an annual event, better and better every year.
This event really started in an infancy 16 years ago as a fine art competition. To be forthright, the artist participation over the years waned a little bit, so we kind of created a little festival atmosphere around it, and it seems to be working out quite well. But there are cash prizes for the winners of certain mediums, art mediums, and we have the judging going on actually right now as we speak, and all those folks who are lucky enough to go home a winner will be quite happy. Yeah.
So it's a way to encourage art in our town as well as to have a good time.
It is, yeah. We have a lot of local artists who are really, really talented folks. You'd be surprised how many people, especially even from town, have a ton of talent here. And so it's a good way to expose their talents as well to the community.
We've been doing this obviously for a couple of years now, but we changed the name, calling it now the Arts Festival, because the concept being that we're such a diverse community here that has so many different cultures, so many different languages, so many different people from so many different backgrounds, that we wanted to celebrate that. And the one thing that sort of ties all of that together is art. You know, there's no art seems to be that universal language. And so if you go from booth to booth, you will see some that celebrate different cultures, some that just, it doesn't really matter. We're all American. Human Relations Council has their booth set up like they do every year, and they're doing rocks that we get put around the pond down by the municipal building, and kind of say what you want, and it speaks to the theme that seems to be recurring here in East Brunswick, and that is we're such an open and welcome community.
Well, we're very fortunate to live here, and we thank you for all that you do, Mayor. And there's a lot of different food today, and a little bit of something for everybody.
Exactly, and that also same theme: different foods, different cultures, and we want people to get out and to enjoy the weather, enjoy the culture that's here, and take advantage and recognize that the town and our Parks and Rec department go to such extreme to make sure that we provide something for everybody.
We have about close to 50 fine arts and crafters. There's about 10 to 12 food trucks. We have some artists and food vendors, the pickle guide everybody loves, and people of that nature. And we have a bunch of kids activities going on as well. And new this year we have a craft beer tent that the East Brunswick VFW is sponsoring. All the proceeds will go to their great causes. And they've partnered with a brewery called Departed Souls out of Jersey City, and they brought with them 4 craft beers for people just to taste and see what they're all about. And we have live entertainment going on as well throughout the day. The DeLoreans and the Central Jersey Wind Ensemble is coming up next, so it's a neat day for the town.
You have a little something for everybody.
Yeah, it seems that way. We try to, do a little something for families as well as mom and dads as well. So try to get everything going for the folks in EB.
One of the focuses we have on the commission, not only bringing great programming to East Brunswick, which we do, and we encourage you to look at our Facebook page, which goes under the Arts and Culture, which you can find on Facebook, or you can find it through the township. We're really concentrating on recognizing that in our township there are 21 languages spoken. So 21 languages, implies that there's 21 cultural differences and backgrounds. And I would say our mission is to start building bridges and not walls, as far as what we hear. And we want to, I'd like to learn more about Indian art and Indian cultures and Korean music and Egyptian, Middle Eastern. There's so much to know out there, and our town's ready to really take that lead.
Well, that's exciting to see a lot of these folks here today, and we're learning so much.
I hope so. And then even at this event, I've walked around. The artists are amazing. And East Brunswick concentrates a lot on the arts community. Art is a very broad word. It could be food art. It could be music. It could be what's typically painting. And what I see even in this festival, which are artists from all over the state and some local, it's really different. It's not your father's art festival anymore. It's much different than that. And I've seen some creativity here that is just marvelous.
Well, there's something for the whole family.
And there is. And even here, after you're done shopping for your art and figuring out what's going to go over the TV, at this festival, as we do every year, we've even increased the number of food trucks and the diversity. There's Indian food. There's crab cakes now. There's chicken and french fries. They still are here. There's a pizza truck. So we're starting to expand on that, and then going forward, next event, of course, big event is East Brunswick Day, which will be in September. And if I'm in the position to influence that in any way, I plan on expanding that even further than what we've had in the past to give the community really things that they may not know and want to experience, or what they're used to and want to have again.
Well, that's what makes East Brunswick special, so thank you for all the hard work that you're doing.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Barbara. Thank you very much for stopping in.
So, Karen, we're here among such beautiful things. What beautiful work you have here.
Thank you so much. It's a lot of fun to make, too.
So, give us a little sense, how are you inspired to put something like this together?
Well, a larger piece like this usually starts with the circles and the plates that I use, which lend themselves to the shape, and then I take the center of one plate and match it with the outside of another, and things evolve from there.
Wow, very creative. And how did you start this business?
Well, about 20 years ago, I was lucky enough to take the stained glass class that's run through the East Brunswick Department of Recreation. I enjoyed that. Stained glass was a little too exacting for me, and I had the glass laying around still, and I started breaking it up, and, things have just come along from there.
And where do you get your inspiration for your designs?
Some of my designs come from the colors that are in the plates that I use, in the circular pieces. And others just come from a color palette usually.
And you also, I know you do classes as well.
Yes, I do. Several years ago I started teaching classes out of a small studio in my home. I really love the students. I love conveying the techniques on how to make mosaics, and I have to say that most people end up with a pretty successful end result.
And it must be pretty satisfying to see the result of your work.
Yes, it is, absolutely. It's nice to see people learning to use different materials and their skills really evolving.
And it's pretty exciting that it all started here at a rec class. So for those that are hesitant to try, what is your message to them?
I think you should always try something that you are inspired by, and you don't know how to do it, you can always learn.
So tell us a little bit about how you became inspired to do this kind of work.
Well, I was fired from my job. I was 64, a year short of 65, right? And my son saw a lot of the work that I did, and he took some work and he entered it into the East Brunswick Festival. And lo and behold, I had some pieces that I could show, not as many as these, but I showed them and I won first prize.
Congratulations.
And it's the first prize. So after that, I started painting a lot. Now I teach watercolor. It's one of the things that I love the most. As you can see, it's my artwork. I put a lot into it, and I have some wonderful students. They're all very, very capable people and good artists, and what I might try to do, what I try to do is really polish them a little more, to get them to that level where the artwork is just fantastic. You go through these stages with when you paint a painting, you don't know exactly how you're going to wind up being, but sometimes somewhere along the way you really get surprised, and you begin to love your art. and then you try to sell your art, and you don't want to part with it, you know, because you love it. So that's me. You know, I'm retired now, and that's what I do.
How do you get inspired for your particular pieces?
I have inspiration from all sources, which my wife and I travel a lot, and wherever we go, you know, she takes pictures and I take pictures. I usually take pictures that I can make into paintings, but she takes all kinds of other pictures, you know. And you know, when I travel, I see things that I like, you know, and I keep those photos, you know, and I also use the internet a lot. I use, you know, there's a wealth of information in the internet. I think nowadays, you know, any artist can really, you know, become good just by, you know, seeing what's in the internet and what's there for you. You know, like a lot of painters give you demonstrations and how to do techniques and all that. So, you know, it's a good thing, you know. I enjoy it, and I think, you know, my students enjoy it too, you know, and they keep coming back every year. So.
Drawing was always a hobby for me as a child, and I've always loved to draw. It wasn't until I was having kids and I had a daughter, she inspired me, and they were of age to go back to school, so because I had worked in an office for many years, so I was faced with, you know, do I go back to an office job or do I follow my passion? So it really spiraled, basically, since I would say 2011.
It's impressive. And what are your inspirations for your drawings?
Oh gosh, my imagination.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint one thing.
And what would be your advice to young artists that say are in school now and thinking of becoming artists? How would you encourage them?
Just reach for the stars, man. You have your whole world ahead of you. The world is your oyster. Go for it. If you believe in yourself, you can make it work.
This is how I relax. So for me, it's where I want to be at the moment is what inspires me to make the jewelry.
And how did you get started making jewelry?
My mom actually was the one to start it, and I followed her footsteps, and it's really an amazing way to relax. I like to work with different stones, different shapes of stones and how they come together, because some stones are big, but then they come together with smaller stones as one piece, and it's just amazing how it works out.
And how do you like the festival? Is this your first time here, or have you been here before at this festival?
We've been here before once, 2 years ago, and we won. The piece that won the first place actually was sold already. So,
congratulations!
Thank you.
For those that are not familiar with East Brunswick Human Relations Council, what is your goal?
So our goal is to celebrate everyone and their different cultures and diversity, bring everyone together and let us see what we do have in common, and to understand what are our differences, so that once we know each other and we get to understand each other better.
Tell us about the Diversity Rocks. That's a very fun program I see you doing.
Yes, it is. It's an opportunity for you to have positive messages, and it's cathartic too. And we're going to put them around the municipal pond in July. So stay tuned. We're going to have another event in July where you will see your rock that you, decided to paint something positive, or even like love, show love, or just put your name on it. But it is something that I see is gathering a lot of people at our booth, so much so that we had to go get some more rocks.
Wow.
It's a big hit.
A lot of positive messages.
Yes, and that's what we are about, about diversity and positive messages, and that, living in East Brunswick. So we just want to have people the opportunity to express it in words on rocks. So we rock over here.
East Brunswick Public Library, we're a large part of our community. We have lots of events that we're promoting. We're also, right now, people can sign up for their library card if they don't already have one. We're also sharing all of our health resources with our Just for the Health of It librarians. We're also promoting our summer reading program, which is Libraries Rock. So we have something for kids, teens, and adults.
And it's always very busy in the summer at the library.
Yes, it definitely is. And actually, we're going to be open on Sundays throughout July now, so it's going to be even busier. So definitely check out the library calendar.
We now have our own home at 78 Milltown Road, which is the old L.J. Smith farmhouse. It's a house that was built in 1860, and the township gave it to us a number of years ago, and that's where our home is. And that's where we have most of our programs. And some of the programs are also held here at the Community Arts Center, like the one we're having in October. We're having General Grant, the U.S. Grant, in person. Right. We have a guy that's a Grant impersonator. Civil War history draws a lot of people for some reason to our programs. Whenever we have a Civil War program, people come out of the woodwork for that.
I know my son loves it.
Yeah, we really do. So that's a program in October, October 14th. And in November, we have a program on one of the most famous murder cases in New Jersey, the Hall Mills murder case from the 1920s that was never solved. So we have a local historian who's going to present a program on it, and people are still talking about that case from 1922. So that should be a very interesting program. And if you are interested in joining, please reach out to me. My cell phone number is 732-735-9292. And the president is still the original founder of the Historical Society, Estelle Goldsmith, who was just honored here recently at a dinner. And she will actually be here later. And she's still president of the society after 45 years.
Impressive.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun. We get a lot of history out of it. We're always looking for people who are interested in historic preservation, keeping the old buildings going.
Well, thank you for all the hard work and time that you put into volunteering here in East Brunswick.
Yeah, it's a volunteer organization, and we have a lot of fun. It's very interesting. And if you love history, you would enjoy being part of it.
Sounds like the group for someone who really enjoys history.
Yes, very much.
So how do you like the festival?
Festival is great. There's a lot of people that came out. It's very hot, but it's enjoyable. So it's good to see everybody come out and promote a lot of different things. We came out just to walk around and see a lot of different people and come to see people like you.
And what'd you buy?
I bought pickles. I actually bought 2 different kinds of pickles, and there's only one place you can get it, and it's a place like this. Hard to get in the store. It's much better here when it's much fresher.
Are they sour, half sour?
I actually have kosher and I have new pickles.
Oh.
Yeah, I went 2 different ways. So one for myself, one for my wife.
So tell us a little bit about how Palette came to be.
I started teaching kind of late. I was a stay-at-home mom first, and I came in to East Brunswick as a maternity leave, and I saw they didn't have a literary magazine, and it was like just part of my upbringing, that opportunity for raw expression for the students, not rehearsed, but really what are they coming up with? What can they create if they're just given the space and the support to do so? And so I said, you guys want to stay after school? And they stayed after school, and our 3rd year Palette, our first official year, we're 50 kids strong.
Oh, that's wonderful. And there's a variety of types of writing that they come out with.
Yeah, I mean, and they don't do it just for classes, although we do have some teachers that'll offer extra credit if they submit to Palette. But we have poetry, we have short stories, we have these weird poems that are made of coding for computers. We have art, we have photography, and we also do our open mic nights. We're going to be doing 3 this year, and they just come, and it gives them a chance to perform and express themselves without it having to be rehearsed and be perfect. And they just show each other such support. It's really beautiful.
Sounds like a wonderful opportunity. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, and thank them. I mean, it wouldn't be around. They show up, and they show up and do everything. It's great.
Immediately, everyone was so nice, and as I went on, it was just an amazing club, and I knew I wanted to go a second year. It was just it's an amazing club.
And what do you like about being involved with this organization?
Honestly, I just moved here, and I was kind of looking for a way to be a part of my new school, and I found Palette, and I was like, oh wow, this really speaks to me because I love writing, I love making art, I love just expressing myself, and I thought that this is a real creative outlet to be in and a way to really express yourself. So that's why I really got involved in this magazine, and I'm really happy I did because I learned a lot from it, and I made a lot of new friends, so yeah.
Thank you. And what kind of writing can you see in Palette?
Since we're teenagers, there's a lot of very emotional and edgy stuff, but it's a place where we are able to express ourselves with no rules. We're all unbound, and it really gives us a lot of creative freedom.
What do you like about this festival today?
I like the paintings.
Which paintings did you do?
A cupcake.
Oh, how nice. And I see your brother also has some artwork on his face as well. Who is that?
John.
That's John. And what does he have painted on his face?
Black Panther.
Wow. So it's pretty exciting. There's face painting as well here today. So, and if someone never was here before, would you tell them it's a good, fun day, and why is it fun to be here?
Because there's plenty of stuff to do.
What did you like best about being here today?
The face painting.
Do you like the Black Panther story?
Yeah.
And I love the colors. Thank you so much. Well, it was a fun day. Thank you for all your time. We appreciate it, and we hope you have a great time here.
Bye.
This is Barbara Reiss reporting for Total East Brunswick. We hope you had a great time this afternoon here at the East Brunswick Art Festival. Hope to see you again here next year.
Muscles to shine.